And Trailblazers, and today I promise you a very, very interesting and captivating show. So please stay tuned. We'll be back with more of Titans and Trailblazers.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
MNC Group is a leading investment holding company with expertise in minerals and food commodity trading, precious minerals refinery, real estate development, and logistics and energy. With individually registered companies, our headquarters is located in Accra, Ghana, with operational offices in Dubai, UAE, Hong Kong, and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia in the USA, and Milan, Italy. We connect business markets and drive growth. Trust us to maximize value in every deal. Call us on 0302-551-917 or 0302-551-918 or send us an email mncgroup@mncgroupgh.com. MNC Group, totally reliant.
Welcome to today's book monologue, and today we are looking at green marketing in emerging economies, a communications perspective. Now, if you've been following this series, I think I mentioned a while ago that this book is one of 4 books we produced out of a project that we embarked on looking at issues around green business, sustainability, and social responsibility. And so this particular book on green marketing, but focusing on a communications perspective, is a very special book. I've been telling all my friends in marketing and management that I dare say that across Africa, there are very few institutions that today, in the middle of 2025, have a green marketing plan in place, or can tell you we have a codified green marketing strategy with KPIs and measurement models, and we are tracking. So this whole green sustainability thing is still evolving, and yesterday I was with my friend Paul Sowley, who has done 30 years in the extractive sector, and we are coming up with a brand new, never seen before consultancy proposition called One World Sanitation Consult. And in the scheme of things, we are going to be going around blessing institutions around Africa with ESG audits, sustainability audits, how to develop a green business plan, and even how to come up with green marketing communication perspectives. So I'm very excited that I met him yesterday, and we have very big plans in that regard. But that's on the practice and the industry side. I've always said that, you see, if you are going to practice well, you must know the theory. So I would really recommend that you get all those 4 books we've produced in that whole green management area. But for today, let me focus on this particular book. We published this book in 2022. It's an edited volume. And I co-edited it with my friend, Dr. Emmanuel Mogaji, who's an associate professor at Keele University, Professor Ugechi Adiola, Isaiah Disa, Dr. Chipo Mukonza, and then Dr. Kegis, who works at a university in Turkey. Now, what did we say in the preface to the book? We said the literature on green marketing continues to gain traction in sustainability discourses, focusing on core subject areas as green product development, green marketing strategy, green operations, even green advertising. So the role of green-focused stakeholders is gathering momentum too. An emphasis has been placed on the consumers due to their impact on business profitability, environmental sustainability, and then green social behavior. Now, we argue in this book that consumers in emerging economies contribute significantly to the survival of businesses despite social, economic, and infrastructural challenges. So for businesses in emerging economies, the strategic focus is to understand consumers, understand their unique needs, and then leverage opportunities, including their desire for a greener economy, to gain competitive advantage. Achieving green marketing success in emerging economies encompasses influencing, orientating, and communicating the green offerings of an organization to the consumers. So in this book, the various chapter contributors argue that positioning an organization as a green brand and appropriately communicating its green offerings through marketing shapes consumers' green adoption idiosyncrasies, behavior, practices. What we are arguing basically is that if you're an organization that is sustainable, that is pursuing green management strategies, then by the token of what you're doing, it's also important that you need to have clear green marketing goals, clear green marketing communication goals, and have a very solid system for communicating the benefits of your green management to your various stakeholder audiences. So green branding and green communication practices in emerging economies are at the core of this book. So we tackle themes like green integrated marketing communications. We tackle themes like greenwashing. Then the way consumers are sometimes skeptical about our green activities. We tackle things like consumer responses to green marketing communications. Then we look at sector-specific issues like green communication in tourism and hospitality. And then we look at things like green brand implementation, green brand equity. We look at issues of nation branding through environmentalist political communication. So in this book, we are saying that by the time we are finished, we made significant contributions to theory and practical knowledge. Let me get to the specificity of what we tackled in the book. We argue that, look, green marketing is important. So in the chapter 1, we look at things around green integrated marketing comms. Sorry, in chapter 1, we set the tone, because that's always the introductory chapter. In chapter 2, my friend Dr. Genevieve Bossa in the UK discusses green integrated marketing communications. In chapter 3, the title is Green Marketing, Communication, and Consumer Responses in Emerging Markets. In chapter 4, Green Marketing and Consumer Skepticism in Emerging Economies is discussed. In chapter 5, my friend Professor Agbamabiase, Professor Mwako, Genevieve Sedalo, and then Gifty Bonsu, they developed a conceptual framework on how players in the hospitality and tourism industry can gain a competitive advantage through deploying appropriate green communication strategies. In chapter 6, Mina and Banu discuss a very important topic. They take a critical perspective on greenwashing under the banner of the concept of corporate environmentalism. Now, greenwashing is such a crucial topic because sometimes firms are tempted or induced to misreport their green activities. So they give you the wrong impression of their green stature, and that's what we call greenwashing. You are lying about your green activities and hoping that the consumers will not become wise to your misrepresentation. So greenwashing is not a desirable activity. In chapter 7, the authors look at drivers of green brand equity and green purchase intention in emerging markets. It's very important. In chapter 8, Dara Yakan looks at green branding implementation in hard discount and low-cost Turkish textile brands. You know, this book is on emerging economy, so we had presenters who are looking at the work not just from African perspective, but sometimes also from Asian perspectives. In chapter 9, I co-authored the chapter with my friend Dr. Ebenezer Sariafa, looking at green brand equity in emerging economies. So we use Ghana as a case study. In chapter 10, the author looked at environmentalist political communication, looking at nation branding and political socialization through environmentalism. So we close this book by formulating at the end some framework that should underpin the devising and deployment of green communication in emerging markets. We really recommend this book to you because whether you're a PR practitioner, advertising practitioner, you're a digital marketing practitioner, you're a marketing consultant, you're just a plain old marketing practitioner, this book will help you because it helps you to understand consumer idiosyncrasies in relation to green marketing communications, and it's an absolute requirement for you if you want to be a better sustainability practitioner. Thank you for following this book monologue. We'll be back with more of Titans and Trailblazers. Please stay tuned.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. With MNC Properties, property sales, rentals, and management is a walk in the park. We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 to 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We offer flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs, plus litigation-free lands in vibrant and upscale communities that presents the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 0302 551 917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Today, I have a friend of over 40 years. His normal name is Richard. But Kamna Prepasa, I should tell you, it's called Balai. So, Richard, please, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, please, did you go to St. Teresa's or where? Where were you born? Where did you go to school? How did you get here today?
Yeah, I was actually born in Agnos Redru.
Okay.
Believe it, I was born in Agnos Redru. At the time, my grandparents or my grandfather used to work for at the time was Cocoa Marketing Board, CMB.
Oh, Cocoa Market. Oh, CMB, yeah. No, CMB,
At the time of the PZ
CMB,
and the GB Olivans and all that space.
Indeed.
So that's how I was born. Classic that time, your mother goes to where her mother is to have the baby. And so I was actually born in Agnos Redru, but moved to Accra, I think it was probably about 4.
Okay.
At the time, there was a school near Demot called Royal International School.
Okay.
That's where I started for about a year.
Royal in Osutu that way?
There was Royal, then Royal also moved to Darfur.
Okay.
It was quite what do you call it, a popular school then.
Okay.
So from about 1 year into Royal, my mother moved me to St. Teresa's.
Okay.
I did a full kindergarten to class 6 in St. Teresa's and then moved to St. Peter's.
Okay.
St. Peter's 1 to 5.
So you know Stero, you know Stero.
Stero actually my brother-in-law, so we are married into his family.
Okay.
So then from St. Peter's, sixth form came to Accra Academy.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Okay.
So when we were doing the Hyde classes,
yes.
From Motown, and I was coming from Accra Academy.
Yes, with Auntie Faustina.
Yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Hyde,
Mrs.
wherever
Hyde.
you are,
yes, we
you really did some brilliant work with our literature. And,
that's why I can write today. Excellent stuff. So we honor you, Mrs. Hyde. Yes. So you were in North Cape for a while.
North Cape, yes. And after sixth form, one of those guys at Giddy went to London.
Okay.
I was actually going for 3 months, and then I've been there for 15 years.
Wow. So you studied in the UK?
So yes, I mean, my first degree was in insurance and finance.
Okay.
And then I went off to Durham Business School to do the MBA.
Durham has a good business school,
yes,
absolutely.
So I did Durham, and it's interesting, my journey in that space, 15 years. I was actually going for 3 months. It became 6 months, became a 2-year working holiday, and then you get subsumed into the system. And I think what it taught me was resilience.
Indeed.
You know, so at the core of my being, when we are talking about Takashi, Fadawa, Dakoa,
is it a national service Takashi or is it a proper Takashi?
National service matter, dear. We will deal with that matter. But I mean, it was like this no holds barred kind of. I remember. Actually, was a postman.
Okay.
So I started to ride a bike from Bounds Green to Muswell Hill.
Really?
Finchley.
You were throwing the paper or?
Yes, I actually. So you go ride a bike. You have to start at 5 a.m.
Indeed.
So by 4 you should be up. Get the sort letters. Go and deliver. Finish. Jump on a bus.
Indeed.
43 to Moorgate.
That's right. That's right.
Go to lectures.
Absolutely.
Do the lectures from like 9 to like 4 something,
Correct.
And then head to Angel Sorting Center to go and do another 5 to 10, what you call it. So,
that's right.
I mean, we paid our dues to Queen and Country.
You learned to hustle long ago.
No. We did all those, what do you call it, those odd jobs, construction, cleaning, Burger King, Houston Food Court, I could flip the burgers, rip the machines apart, clean it, whatever, and prepare it all through the night. 7 o'clock or even 6 o'clock, we are opening to serve breakfast.
Wow.
So we did all that. But obviously, one particular job that I was in, I always remember this. It was a futon factory. And this was like, you put together mattresses and so. And at some point, I was like, Charlie, this is some nonsense job, man. I've got to go back to school. At least the head, yes, we get small head.
Indeed.
So let me go back to school. And the guys there were like, now school, no, when you go, it's the same money that you are going for. I'm like, Charlie, I want to use my head, I don't want to use this brawn. Well, you know, some of the size of the latex mattress that you are literally wrestling with the thing on the floor.
To wrap yourself
Charlie, and then sew the thing, hand sewn, organic. You know, when I left, interestingly, and started my undergrad, within a year or two, the owners of the business shut it down and moved the business to Cyprus because the cost of production had dropped. Yes, it had dropped significantly in those areas. So that's really the background. I did the UK for 15 years and I came back. My very first gig here was with Ghana Cocoa Board. At the time, the partner I was working with happened to be, and this is one of the things I don't see a lot in our tertiary here. One of the companies I worked for was Aon, and
they sponsored Man U at a point, right?
At some point, yes. So Aon Risk Management, at some point, I used to insure all the London boroughs, the police, and so on. But one account that I dealt with was with universities and spin-outs from universities.
Absolutely. It's big.
And these are professors
big.
that do set up businesses with students.
Absolutely.
And they came up with all sorts of things. And I was insuring the clinical trials.
There you go.
So out of Imperial, Bath, Oxford, Cambridge, Life Sciences.
There you go.
When you look at a university community and what they had done with building the university as a cluster.
Absolutely.
And the businesses that came out.
It's several £million. It's
amazing.
Yes.
These businesses were listed on the alternative investment market before you realize they're on the FTSE, before you realize they are in the, NASDAQ and so on. So
absolutely.
There's something about universities and their place in communities and how students can partner with professors and so on. I don't see a lot of that.
But essentially, you must build an entrepreneurial climate.
Definitely.
And then let people know that they can experiment and grow. But if it's just the same old Philip Kotler from 49 years ago that you are teaching, where is the hope for both the professor and the student? It is what it is.
I happened to be in Arizona last week at the Arizona State University.
Indeed.
And the businesses, Google have some program there in partnership with professors and Amazon, Intel, just name it.
Everybody has something.
They are working with the university community.
I said
for
they are
research.
integrated.
Integrated, that's the word.
Boss, when I was studying in Denmark, if you go to the Copenhagen Business School, there's a PwC classroom, there's a KPMG classroom.
Yeah. Professors were even what do you call it, McDonald's professor or something. They are funded by what you call it. I don't see a lot of that in Ghana and my.
So I've been saying
my walking around Africa.
I've been saying that the argument that universities should have a commercial appetite is defeatist. It's so old school. I keep telling them that, boss, it's not a question of Bobby or the market. I said no, it's not. I'm not the one who's doing that too. All universities today are market-facing, all across the world. And it's not a new phenomenon.
I mean, look at the various campuses they are opening around the world. I mean, in China, in Dubai, we have here what you call Lancaster and so on.
I say in the Emirates, they are big. Everybody's going
where's
to
the University of Ghana in what you call it, in Shanghai or in what you call it?
No, we are doing the business case.
You know, so that was what you call it. My first gig back was with the Ghana Cocoa Board, as I said, and it was really to work on their strategy to hit 1 million tons. So we worked on that strategy for 1 million tons. The interesting thing about the partner that I came, is my partner now, the CPD that we spoke about. When I registered my first business, it was, you're in corporate, you look at everything, it's like, what the heck are they doing? This thing, I can do it myself. I said, well, let me go and start my own business. It was the most cataclysmic, abysmal failure. I mean, I tell people if there were Olympics in business failures, I'll get platinum. I mean, I just stood back and I was clapping for myself. Like, Charlie, it was terrible.
You know what's funny about? I'll let you continue. But a guy started a couple of weeks ago called Mr. Bill. He's now the president of the Charter Institute of Marketing Ghana. He said when he started, he lost some big money. He said the thing is so bad. When people congratulate him for doing well, now his sponsor he goes.
You have no idea.
You don't know what
you have no idea. So I saw that it was like Titans and Trailblazers. Really, you have no idea. Commander says, what do you call it? You see watching Amani International, you do that now. So that was a disaster. I mean, you started out, as soon as I started the business, my wife says she's pregnant, I started the Durham Business School, what do you call it? Charlie, no money.
Absolutely.
That's okay, let me go and teach. So Greenwich Community College, I did what? But me, old school, my idea of teaching in Ghana is what? People come to the class, mobile phones going off, they do assignments, they were like, what the heck? I was chucking people out rough. The dude was like, Richard, you can't do that. You can't exclude. Community college, those that don't quite make it to what you. So you are dealing with, guys, forgive me, the dregs of Charlie, in Greenwich Woolwich. I mean,
you need special skill to handle that.
No. So I had to do the City and Guilds teaching, what you call it. I did to sort of. And the interesting one was like Greenwich University, Charlie. Let me try and find something there. At the time, what we have at LinkedIn, Facebook. There was this guy I met on there, and we were chatting. I was like, Charlie, you did Greenwich University. What's the deal? He said, I'll introduce you to the dean of the business school and see if you can come as an adjunct, teach entrepreneurship and strategy.
Absolutely.
It's like, okay. Now, the guy who introduced me to the dean of the business school, Kanesh Raja, up till now, since 95, I've never seen him face to face. We did everything online.
Oh, wow.
We did everything. I checked on him last night. I think he's in Cornwall somewhere. And I have never met the guy. It's something about networking, engaging, and so on. Professor Raja, I spent every month having lunches with him for about 2 years before I got that appointment.
Okay.
Why? Because I had to be at his forefront. It was something I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
And then it was like, as soon as that opening came, I was like, Richard, there's an opening. Are you interested? So that's how I got into Greenwich to teach entrepreneurship and strategy. And the same person I formed a business with today, still my partner since 2005 or 6 or so on. So there's something about connections. As in the church, we'll call it divine and so on. Those not so say serendipity or luck or whatever, but they say what fortune favors the prepared mind.
Absolutely.
Came back, did Cocoa Board, and I'm pleased to say at least in 2011 we hit 1 million tons for the first time.
Okay.
I only claim to the fact that it's our strategy that day, but at least we were involved in some shape or form.
Absolutely.
And went in, dabbled in oil and gas. Trading in Mali, Burkina, Niger. Interesting one with French. I mean, we didn't take our French very seriously in school, primarily because of how it was taught. And at the time, Monsieur Teneju at Christ the King had a French class going. So I was like, me and Boima, let's go and do this French thing because we will be. When you go and sit at a table in Mali or Niger or whatever, they are discussing numbers and whatever. At the very least, you should be able to comprehend because otherwise you are toast.
Indeed.
So I registered for this French gig and started going giddy giddy. But I once saw her smoothness level and dropped out. She was like, Charlie, I don't have time for this nonsense. I am not going to do this anymore. I was like, I'll persevere. So I come on one time, my boy comes home with the French homework. My wife is like, I'll go and see your father. He's the one doing French lessons. And sadly, the boy got 2 over 10. What do you call it? After my help. And that was the last time he approached me with his homework. He's 22 now. In university, we've never had an encounter about homework and so on. But my background is about risk management, insurance. I've dabbled in oil and gas. Cocoa was a specific area that we worked in, strategy.
So how did you segue into tech and IT and AI and labs?
Education. Okay. So I've always been in academia. I came back, I worked, I did some work with CIBT.
Okay.
I did some work with GIMPA.
Okay.
And so I've always dabbled in, the challenge for me is the whole politics of academia. You've done well, survived it for 40-something years.
No, you don't want to go there.
No. So I will dip in and out.
Sir, you don't want to go there.
If a specific module I can teach.
Yes.
And what do you call it? And go.
Yes.
I don't want to be involved in this.
You don't have to. It's safer that you stay out. Yes.
But I kind of lost appetite because then industry folks, I understand you got to go and do an MPhil, PhD and all that. I was like, Charlie, you guys take your thing. And so I haven't taught for a while. But when it comes to education, it's probably embedded in my DNA somewhat because my grandfather actually set up the primary school in partnership with Catholics in Kukrantumi. It was called Teacher Bossman. Why? Because he used to boss the kids with sweets.
Oh, wow.
To get them into, what do you call it?
Class and do the work.
My mother runs a school in Accra. She's done it since she retired 25 years ago. So education, some shape or form, has been part of my makeup and my background. So this particular, venture, is one of those things that you really didn't plan for. It's an opportunity that came up. At the time, the Ghana Statistical Service was looking for 70,000 tablets for the census.
Okay.
And the idea was that, they use the tablets for 6 weeks, nothing happens to it. So the plan or the pitch was that, we'll supply the tablets, but when you finish the census, we'll take the tablets, remodel them, reformat them, put on whatever apps and then distribute them through the school. So that's the origin of
the idea.
Of their idea. However, politics got involved. In this country you can win financial and technical tender, and still. It hasn't happened. But at the time we already had a letter of commencement, so we went to the Ministry of Education and was like, let's pitch for a 700 school project. So if you go to any district now, you will find a smart lab that we have deployed.
Okay.
We deployed a smart lab in a primary school, 350 primary schools, and 350 junior high school.
Indeed.
745,000 devices with 3,400 teachers. So that was like, public sector, we've done it. You go anywhere in the world, that's our calling card. we've done it in Ghana.
Indeed.
We can talk to a MasterCard, a Ford, whoever is looking for impact in education. So that's my pivot into education over the last, since 2019.
Okay.
This has been what we've been doing around.
And you won a MasterCard grant?
We did, a MasterCard fellowship grant.
What were you meant to do with that?
Okay, a few things. When you come into our business or the venture, a lot of the business is won through my relationships.
Indeed.
Okay, and you cannot really build a business that is just revolving around a founder.
I agree.
You've got to find a way to
scale a bit.
Yeah, and devolve yourself from.
I agree.
Because that key man risk is real. God forbid something happens, you get that the business goes with you. So the MasterCard conversation was really around, okay, corporate governance. How do we put in a board that actually oversees the business? Marketing was quite critical because you cannot also relationship marketing.
You were looking for some. You said the people you got, they were all just
Charlie.
absolute jokers.
It's a very simple model for me. Okay, I'll give you 3 months. Whatever you're looking for, we'll pay you for 3 months. Just find me one school.
You're speaking English.
Grammar. Grammar. And if we look at our deal book right now, every single client has been around my relationships. So I'm either dealing with a CSR budget of a company, a high net worth individual, Rotary Lions, Zonta, alumni of schools. I've got a full whatever that I target. But it's not sustainable. The kind of numbers you want to do, you cannot be the only person that. So the MasterCard grant was also to help us set up a marketing system. So corporate governance, marketing, and also to look at the financials of the business and make sure we are finance ready, we are literate enough financially.
So what is with respect to the hatchery? Or which
no, it's Coral Reef actually.
Okay,
so Red Fins was an oil and gas that my partner was Waima.
Okay.
That was a project that at the time, I don't know if you remember, but LPG was a big issue in Ghana. So we stumbled again on an opportunity to bring a barge the size of about 3,000 metric ton barge, position it offshore. Vessels should come offload into the barge, and then we pump through the pipes to trucks, a gantry, So that was the Red Fence project. We spent about 5 years on that project, another disaster. If you've laid pipes and you see them crumble in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, the barge that we brought, despite all the experts, whatever that we brought, they realized that Charlie, we are laughing about this now, but
it was traumatic at the time.
No, it's crazy. The funding, the equity participation, the various relationships we use for collateral. Charlie, it was a mess.
Look, we'll be back with more of Titans and Trailblazers. Please stay tuned.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. With MNC Properties, property sales, rentals, and management is a walk in the park. We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 to 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We offer flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs, plus litigation-free lands in vibrant and upscale communities that presents the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 0302 551 917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Welcome back to Titans and Trailblazers. We're on the issue of pipes and crumbling pipes.
Charlie, we have to send divers to go and retrieve those pipes, come again, use another method to lay 1 kilometer pipeline of the coast of Bankuma and Tema over there. Charlie, dealing with rocks. Our coast, Charlie, it's my battle of Waterloo. What do you call it? Is it Sagrenti or whatever? We don't talk a lot about these things, but it teaches you resilience. The various relations, and the most important thing for me or for us as founders was the relationships. People that were trusting you, deploying their collateral to support and so on. You know, the family, friends, and fools type stage of startups, early stage business. But yeah, we're still, dealing with the effects of that business. But so EdTech is one that we've been working on, and it's like we've stumbled on our sweet point because it's something that, not that it comes easy, but it's a market we understand. We've crisscrossed the country for about, 10 times. We know pretty much every school. We know the mentality of teachers. That whole value chain. So right from the founder or owner of the school, the board of governors, the head teacher, the teacher, and the kid. So the student obviously is central, but then all these guys have an interest.
Of course.
And from a marketing comms perspective, you've got to be communicating to all of them and dealing with whatever alleviates their pain, whatever solution. So I don't know of a business, what are they looking for? What does their school look like in 2030, 2035?
Absolutely.
Are they looking at purely commercial venture? Are they looking at sustainability? Are they, GIS is 70 this year.
Very
that's,
much.
That's a huge achievement.
It's huge.
Over 70 years. There are some that start schools and then they hand over to their kids. The passion what the founder had at the beginning, it's not necessarily the same. When you look at the life cycle of a business,
I agree.
and so on. So we like to talk to them in the language they understand. The boards of governance. They are sitting on a board really for strategic direction of the school. What does it mean? And really the pace at which this thing is going now. Because we're in the industry, nearly every single morning in our RSS feeds and so on, somebody is either raising money for some new AI, they are pitching some business, Google has come up with something, they're saying there's now text to code, you don't need to learn how to code. It's like...
It's evolving rapidly.
The pace, this is like the Wild Wild West, when the gold rush, what do you call it? So are you going to sell shovels and picks? Or are you going to be a miner? We decided to hang around the shovels and picks side because that's where we see value. So if you take, I've addressed the issue about the founder, what are their interests, their proclivities, their egos that you've got to massage and so on. So the founder, the board, the head teacher operationally is responsible for running the school. And then you come to the teacher. The teacher direct access to the student. But in 2025, with all that is happening in this paradigm, what sort of skills and abilities do the teachers need?
Indeed.
Yeah. Who's doing a diagnostic to assess a teacher and say, okay, these are your gaps.
Indeed.
And how do we plug those gaps?
Indeed.
What sort of values? What sort of expertise? Because frankly, we've been around a lot of schools, and these are teachers that have gone through training colleges and so on. And for the lack of a better phrase, let me say, they are not designed and fit for purpose for this new paradigm.
But let me ask you a question. At a basic level of prompt engineering, I would think that if you're a well-educated person, I think that gives you it should give you one or two more steps, even in terms of learning to use AI tools compared to somebody.
Absolutely.
I would think.
Prompt essentials.
But I don't see it. I don't even see it happening.
No. Prompt. We actually run a Prompt Essentials 101 because it's like the basis of what you call it. To use a Chat GPT, Grok, Claude, any of those, whatever.
DeepSeek, you must know what you're doing.
I actually stumbled on one solution that brings all of them together.
Indeed.
And once you prompt it, it gives you a cross section of what you call it. It's a classic computing thing. garbage in, garbage out.
Absolutely.
You know, giggle.
Absolutely.
I when we started learning what you call it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think prompting
basic.
is the basic that every single, at least in this paradigm that we're in,
fundamental.
So prompt is and then ethics.
Yes.
Okay. So you deal with the prompts
Yes.
and then the ethics.
Absolutely.
One of the news that was reported was a finance guy got a call from somebody purporting to be the CEO of the company and transferred 240 million from the company's, what do you call it? The guy used a AI deepfake.
What?
Yes. So
dribbled the finance guy.
He finished him. He finished him.
Really?
Yeah. So the things that, I mean, there are all sorts of issues. I mean, the Danish published a paper on screen time, and they're reversing some of those, what do you call it? But I think it should be a balance.
I think so too.
When you look at, let me deal with the ethics, because there's always deepfake.
Correct.
And it's like everything in life. You want water, the same water that we use, you can drown in water, fire, what do you call it, if it's not managed well.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with AI. It's just a tool that is supposed to augment you and 10x your performance.
Yes.
That's all it is.
But you must be sharp yourself.
Yes.
No,
I mean,
no. The thing is that AI makes us all equal. It's not necessarily
it's not true.
No, it's not true.
It's not true because some of the nya that they can spew.
Sir.
No. It can be nonsense.
But
if it's a hallucinating, what you call it? No.
It can lie and spew garbage, and you'll be sitting there thinking you've gotten something.
No. So there's this thing when they say people should stop coding. I'm like, no. You need to get, at the very least, people should be able to code. Why? Because coding deals with your mind in a certain way. It allows you to get a scale of structure. It allows you to analyze problem solving and so on. So the 1 Million Coders initiative is a fantastic idea. Yeah, it's a fantastic idea if and when we can implement it. I mean, the numbers at which and the pace at which they're going makes it. But for me, all the time I ask, so what? What next?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
How do you build the pipeline of talent with 1 million coders? Where are the remote internships? Where are the remote jobs? Where are the internships and all those kinds of things?
On the issue of pipelines and jobs.
Yeah.
What's the real impact on AI, EdTech, and all those issues on Africa's economic future? Because the global north is not playing. So what was the story here?
Okay, so any routine task that an algorithm can replace will be replaced.
Indeed.
You know, I've been to.
It's already gone.
I've been to again hostel days at Iran, Terra. What am I doing in what? I've gone into a factory where the whole Iran that you think is what you call the kind of engineering that they have there. This is a factory that from the sand that creates the tiles all the way to packing is 100% automated.
There you go.
Amazon is going along those lines and so on and so forth. But any routine task that an algorithm is what you call it is capable of replacing is replacing. A bot passed the New York bar within a number of hours. Another bot passed the US medical board exams within a number of hours. So they are even saying thesis. There are bots that are churning out thesis. So that's one side. The impact.
Before you continue, so I saw this shocking advert at midnight or somewhere yesterday where rewritely saying that when ChatGPT gives you the output, it's too AI-like. So bring to rewrite.
Let's humanize it.
Oh wow! I'm like, wow.
So part of prompting is that you can give the prompt and say, okay, I need this in the style of Chaucer.
Of course.
I need this in we're literature students. We're literature students.
But I can't rewrite what ChatGPT gives me. I can rewrite it.
Of course.
So I don't even have to sound AI-like. But the lazy people, when they put it, then they come and put it on Facebook.
And you can see. You can see. There are a few people on Facebook that, if you've engaged with them over a period of time,
you can tell that
you know their style of
and the
tonation and everything. So when they post something, I'm like, Jack, Charlie, AI and I.
They leave all the chat GP symbols twins are like, oh, God,
you could have cleaned it small, you know. But back to this job matter.
For
Africa, All the stats point to the fact that we're a young population. By 2035, we'll be about 1 billion. So population, don't worry. I mean, we've got population sorted, but population doesn't equate talent.
At all.
Population doesn't equate talent. So how do we invest in honing skills and be intentional and support our young people into viable, sustainable jobs? And really the mindset of AI being an augmenter and not what do you call it? Replace. There's stuff that also. Then the advice is, I mean, you're good. I mean, some of the jobs that are coming out: a robot sports promoter, a gene programmer. It's as they will say, the boys will say, it's mind-busting what is happening in other jurisdictions, and they are using AI for. So for Africa, I mean, my biggest beef for Africa is you go to Silicon Valley, you go to Amazon, and all these. All the algorithms, LLMs, and all those things that they are churning out are Caucasian-based. They are based on a certain type of, what do you call it, narrative, their reality, and so on.
Yes, that's how they're building it.
So where are the millions of African researchers that are also developing, what do you call it? How do we tell our stories? One of the biggest things that I'm interested in now is when we build our AI labs, we should make them thematic. So there's something we're dealing with in Nubuka, for instance. Nubuka, it's an arts, culture, whatever. When we put an AI lab there for an AI bootcamp or so on, everything in that space has to be about telling our stories. How do we gamify the Battle of Sagrenti? How do we animate and tell Yasanto's story using AI?
Sorry to cut you again. I was with my friend Alistair McQuena last year. He just left the Google job in South Africa.
Right.
And he said the reason why Google put that research center whatever in Kenya is that they are looking for Tree, Swahili, Ghana.
In the University of Ghana, there's a team. University of Ghana, there's a team that is developing. They're using. They're developing our conversations around what you want, but it is not enough. We need to scale up. What you call it across Africa.
Absolutely.
Because of the diversity, Xhosa, Zulu. You come to Kenya, you come to Nigeria, Hausa, Igbo, and so on, Yoruba, and so on. So I think that is where there's a lot of opportunity.
Yes.
Huge opportunity in content development.
He said that.
Huge. I mean, our textbooks, for instance. If a kid is entering kindergarten now in 2025, how many years will they spend in university? At 18, 19, they go to university about what, 20? What do you call it? By the time they finish, if they're entering now, the whole world would have changed.
Radically.
You know, the kind of jobs that we're training people for now, will disappear like tears in the rain. So it's really about being intentional. What is our national AI strategy, for instance? I've heard some murmurs about it. The last government, there was some...
Africa AI strategy though. They went to Kigali to do some things.
Charlie, the grammar there, what do you call it? Come to after. Despite all what you call it, Bryce Simmons was talking about something to do with free trade, what do you call it, free movement of persons and trade and yes, when you get to Togo border, Torasan, they are calling things what you call it. So the grammar there, we're fantastic at it. We're brilliant people in Africa. So the next level is really execution. And how do we, and for me, the spot I have chosen is a pipeline from primary school all the way to university. And we're even focused on students who don't make the transition from senior high school to university. What happens to them? It's a chunk of them, unemployed graduates. What happens to them? How do you use these tools? Now you help them. Once they've got a digital certificate, what happens? How do you find the remote internships? How do you find the remote jobs? So the opportunity is huge. I was talking about thematic areas, so a cultural area. If we're having EVs here, what does AI mean to EVs and the transport economy and so on? How do we position students in that type of area to also? If I take an EV to Kokumpi right now,
do you know the AI tools that translate voice to video right now? You don't have to go to text. You don't have to go to text.
No.
So even the creative sector, there's a whole revolution. Like sometimes I wonder whether we understand where the world is at.
No.
Because of the thing, we still discuss very mundane things like
Absolutely.
as if we were still in 1995.
Absolutely. And just a few days ago, I saw some studios in the Hollywood had taken some of the AI companies to court because they had used their IP without permission and so on. So all those battles will be coming up. But Hollywood, so really, what we need to start engaging our students on, apart from the normal math, algebra, AI will spit out the results.
I'm telling you.
So it's really about creativity, our creativity.
Yes.
The problem solving skills.
Yes.
How do you network?
Yes.
How do you engage?
Yes.
How do you pitch?
Yes.
That's
why the action is.
Yes.
That's what the tech side.
No. They've crossed the Rubicon on that. It's gone. So
I'm telling you.
How do we get us? In fact, the way we educate must change. The way we examinations must change.
Sir, it must totally change.
Examination must change because if a student can just spit out all this and I think examinations must go the way of Vivas.
My brother, let me tell you something. So, at the end of April, I left Ghana Communication University, went back to UGBS. So, they gave me an integrated marketing communication class to teach at MBA, University of Ghana Business School.
Right.
So, I go and say, oh, Charlie, I'm not going to use the regular course. We'll do projects. They will look at me like that. Yeah. I say, yeah, we'll do projects. So, we'll learn AI, something. And the students came a week or two after. Prof, the course, we are not really seeing it. I say, we are not seeing it. It's because they are used to 6 points.
Yeah.
And we'll do this. Look, the MBA students who want to know the chapters of the textbook that day. And I'm like, that course outlined today, there are AI tools that can teach you every single thing in 2 hours. Then you can learn how to do Hollywood type movies using AI tools.
Absolutely.
That's where the real value add is. But I don't know how we do the mind shift.
Something must give. And this is where policy owners of policy who drive policy. The University of Ghana needs to this thing is not going away. The horses have bolted the stables. How do you use it to support the work that you do? Those are the critical things that you need to be thinking about because your creativity, so environment, sustainability, governance, those are the things that you need to be thinking about. Innovation, how do you build high-performing teams?
Indeed.
For instance, how do you work as part of a team to be valuable as part of a team?
Indeed.
One of the biggest things I've found is that a lot of us still struggle with self-directed learning.
Indeed.
So if you look at the statistics from Coursera, Udemy, and all those things, about 60% of people that start courses never complete. Self-directed learning.
Do you know I have 8 free courses on Udemy with over 30,000 students from 142 countries?
Yeah.
When I tell MBA students today to go, they don't go.
Yeah.
And I almost get the sense that it's not part of what they are supposed to learn.
Well, but let me give you a trick. Use that as an exam or something for them. Then they will have to go for
But that's why I have a problem because these days, self-starters, being innovative, self-directed learning is how every progressive person lives. The days of being wait to be fed, we move, but there are still students in Africa who are waiting to be fed. They come to class. She said today, in fact, the first class, they said, don't you have slides? I'm like, we'll talk about that later. Let's just talk about broad conceptualization and blue ocean stuff. But I want us to end by you telling us 4 things the modern educator must do to prepare students better for the Africa we live in now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we as a business are launching a solution we call Lenarium. Okay. And one of the things we found was the barrier to entry for most parents and schools was the cost of the device.
Okay.
Now, so if you can amortize the cost of the device over a period of time.
Okay.
So it's a partnership with APSA. APSA will fund the devices.
Okay.
Over 2-3 years. Content. Yeah, we give you all the relative content. We pack it with content. MTN, Telecel coming with data. And then there's an insurance element with Coronation and Old Mutual. So we've packaged that as a solution.
Indeed.
And we are, amortizing it over a period of time. So that's what we are doing on our side. We have a big heart and focus. Our core values are around access, equity, and inclusion. So if you want to bridge that digital poverty divide, how do you get students from rural areas also participating and rubbing shoulders with the GISs, Romaries, and so on and so forth? Because frankly, we cannot continue the same classism that we have in, not just in Ghana, but across Africa.
I agree.
So a kid in Limpopo, wherever, Alexandria or whatever, should be able to have access to the same resources and so on.
On the issue of access to resources, we have to close today's edition, but share with us a website we can go to or where we can go to see more of your work.
Our work is on, if you go to coralreefgh.com, we have a lot of our work there. We are launching on the 25th with MTN, 25th June with MTN, and quite a lot of splash about what we are doing, devices, support for teachers and lecturers as well. Major, because really, if you don't deal with that in terms of their mindset, tools, and so on, you're going to struggle dealing with a student and building their capacity.
Coralreefgh.com. Congratulations, sir. Keep pushing. Your school days are over. Thanks for watching this edition with the famous Balai Richard. But he didn't give a shout out to Saka or anybody. What's going on here?
They should go and eat some Gary and
see you later.
Saka, Kwabena Pepra, Franklin Peter, the our Wonderlast team, reflecting on we're looking for money to go to the next trip, so the hustle continues.
Thanks for watching. See you again on the next episode. Bye.
Next on Titans and Trailblazers.
Coup d'etat is like murder, right?
Yes, takeover, violent takeover.
Yes, violent takeover.
Violent takeover.
So in the book, I talk about the democracy and autocracy of the mind.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Now, democracy is today one party is in power.
Correct.
Autocracy is one party is in power forever.
They never leave.
Right?
Titans and Trailblazers is brought to you by the MNC Group.
Metro TV. Insightful and inspiring moments.
Smart, bold, unapologetic. This is Annie Ampafo. The voice of reason, a force of media. She's the one Ghana turns to every Monday morning for the headlines that matter and the conversations that shape all of us.
And on the basis of Article 34, that's the Directive Principles of State Policy, we meet here again this morning, and you're welcome to Good Morning Ghana.
And when the afternoon rolls in, she's back, cutting through the noise, asking the tough questions, and bringing clarity to the issues that matter.
A committee to investigate containers carrying ECG cables that are meant for Ghanaians or meant to provide light for the good people of Ghana.
In the morning, in the afternoon, Annie Ampafo isn't just reporting the news. She's shaping the conversations that shape all of us. Annie Ampafo,